Hello everyone, I'm Christina of CSLdesigns, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Art Deco wire weave. And this is what it looks like here. So you have kind of a wire wrapping all the way along the bottom there, but then we have these little Art Deco sections kind of springing up from that all the way along, and that's what the weave looks like. Now there is two sides to this, so this is the front, and on the back it looks like that. So you can see it's the same shape, but what you will find is that the wires are crossing over slightly differently in some areas. So that's why there is a back to this. But you can really then use this weave for whatever you want. So if you want to learn how to make this, then keep watching. So for the base wires, we're going to need these 4 lengths of our 1mm wire. And for the weaving wire, we need 1 length of our 0.4mm wire, and this is going to be wrapping around the base wires. So then to begin with, we need to take a length of our weaving wire here, and we need to attach that onto one of our base wires. We just do that by laying it behind the base wire and leaving a short tail to just hold on to that. And then I'm just going to coil this around the base wire a few times just to attach it. So keep coiling it around here. Push your coils nice and close together. So just something like this. And then we need to get in to the actual weave, and also by adding in the rest of the base wires, but one at a time. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my wire attached now. I'm going to bring in the next base wire, lay that above the first one and on top of the weaving wire, and hold on to that again, because then I need to bring my weaving wire from the bottom there across the top of both of them, and I like to kind of just push it a bit to the side there to help the angle along. But then I need it to come back down behind both of them. Try and keep that angle in place, and then back over the top of both of them again, so just right next to the first wrap. So now it's kind of a double wrap, just like that, and they come in a bit at an angle to the side, and then we need to come up between the 2 base wires here that we just wrapped over the top of, and I also use that to then push down on them, on the wraps there, and then just wrap around the top base wire by itself, just like that. And if you need to, you can always take a pair of chain nose pliers or something to help tighten things up. Now you can use your nails to push things down, but sometimes you can get a better grip and obviously get into finer areas using some chain nose pliers. But just obviously be careful, because it can kind of damage or mark the wire a little bit. So that's our first wrap, and then we need to bring in the next base wire. Again, lay that above the others and on top of the weaving wire. Just need to separate them out. And then we need to go with the weaving wire over the top of all of them now, so over the top of all 3. And make sure to push it a little bit out to the side. Come down behind, and then repeat, going over the top of all 3 again, right next to the first one. So they now sit right next to each other. And then come up between the top 2. So right there. Use that again to push down on the wraps. So just like that. So your weaving wire is coming down behind all of the base wires again. And then we have our final base wire left. So that's the new top one now. Adding that in just like the other times. And then we just like the other times as well, bring the weaving wire across the top of all of them. And again down behind to do it again. So we have those 2 wraps lying next to each other. And then that's basically the midpoint of it. So now I want to move my way back down in a mirrored image. So that means I need to come up right in the middle of all of the base wires. Just like that, to wrap around that 3rd one from the bottom, or 2nd one from the top by itself. So we need to come down between the top 2 and push that. Come all the way down behind to the bottom to go over the top of the bottom 3 now, because that's the last one we did on the other side before that middle one. Come down in the same place, and then down behind to wrap in the same way again, so it lays right next to it. So just like that, and then step down again by coming up between the bottom two base wires, push that down, then wrap around that second one from the bottom, so this one here by itself, so we need to come down right in the middle of everything, push that down nice and tight, either use your nails or some pliers, so you just need to get in there with a pair of pliers to push it properly, and then come from the bottom over the top of the bottom two base wires and push it all nice and close together. And do that again, so we have those double wraps the whole time. And then all we need to do now is wrap around the bottom base wire by itself, because the actual little section is pretty much done now. So you just go down and wrap around that bottom base wire, and now that's really up to you how much you want to do that until you start the next section, because how many wraps you do will determine the distance between them. And like I said, that's up to you, and what you can do is then count the amount of wraps you do between each one to make sure you do it nice and symmetrical throughout. So continue doing this until you have the length that you need. So I now continue with the weave here, and then this is what it looks like. So another tip I just want to give you when making this weave to achieve the best possible effect is, as I go, I prefer to do it as I go and I'm making the sections. You can also do it after, that's completely up to you. But I take my chain nose pliers or flat nose pliers, it doesn't matter, and then I've made my section here. I then make sure that all the wires are sitting exactly how I want them to, so they don't overlap each other where we don't want them to. And then I just go in and squeeze that section down, because what that does is really help all the wires nestle into each other, but then also emphasize this shape here that kind of creates that Art Deco effect, because it pushes the single wraps next to the double wraps in place properly, so that then gives that nice effect that we want. So it's just a little tip that I recommend doing as well with this weave, but then otherwise that's how you make it. So it's a pretty simple weave, just make sure we get those single wraps in to achieve the shape here, so you can obviously use it for whatever you want to. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching.